Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's a new week at SPR. Bit of an uninteresting day today. It's Monday, it's just been full of servicing, MOTs, discs and pads, all good routine stuff, which I'm not complaining about. All good earners, all pays the bills, no headaches on a Monday morning. However, this car I'm in now is Mercedes 203 C-Class Coupe, and this is a bit of an headache. We fitted a passenger side mirror, the folding mechanism, to it about 12 months ago, and unfortunately it's stopped working. So, because we purchased it from Mercedes, it's a 2-year warranty, but you have to take it back to Mercedes. Mercedes won't take your word for it that it's faulty. You've got to take it back into them, pay a diagnosis fee, which is about £200. Should they agree with you that it's faulty, sorry about that, my phone keeps going off, that's annoying. Should they agree with you that it's faulty, they will replace it and there's nothing to pay. Should they disagree with you, you've got to pay the diagnostic fee and whatever labour they have incurred looking at it. They'll do anything to get out of it, basically. It's an inconvenience for me, it's an inconvenience for the customer. I've got to dig the paperwork out of when I purchased this one part from 12 months ago. Before we drop it off, I thought I'd show you what's going on. Both mirrors are folded in. Mirror folding out button. Driver's side folds out, passenger does not. So I can see the motor inside the mirror folded, so Nathan's holding the camera, John's going to press the button, and I'm going to give the motor a little love tap and you'll see it fold out. It's just proving me wrong. Oh, it worked every time the other day. There you go. So just giving it a little tap just made it come out. It's hit and miss when it does and doesn't work. We'll take it to Mercedes, see what they say. I feel like I'm advertising.
Yeah, you should probably turn
that round, it's not snap-on, is it? Like I said earlier in the video for today, which is today, full of service work today, so nothing really interesting going on, but we thought we'd show you this C-Class Coupe. Pretty sure they call them a coupe, it's a CLC. It's kind of the very last of the 203 range. They actually put 204 headlamps in them, but it's on a 203 chassis. So basically, I thought I'd show you this because it's done 27,000 miles from brand new, and it is literally as good as new, the car. We've done a B service on it, we've done a gearbox service, and discs and pads all round. Yeah, just thought I'd show you a nice clean example. But it was interesting how they made these. Like I say, it was right at the end of the 203 line, and it was like they were introducing the 204. It's like a 203, 204 cut and shut. See what happens tomorrow.
Can't use that.
What do you mean? That's the budget version. Right. We've got a B-Class in for a gearbox fault. It's got an intermittent message on the dash saying drive to workshop without changing gear. So we've plugged it in, we've retrieved the fault codes. We've got 4 different codes indicating 4 different problems, which clearly we don't believe. One of them is indicating a fault with the auxiliary battery, which is in the passenger footwell. Another one is indicating software issues. Now these do suffer some unusual faults with corrupt software. One being that message that I've just explained. Another one is it's skipping a gear. It goes from like 2nd to 4th to 6th and misses out 1st, 3rd, 5th. And intermittent reverse, they can be all software related. Can you see him behind me?
Yeah.
First thing we've done, test the battery in the passenger footwell. And as you can see, it says replace battery. We've also got a fault code for it in the front SAM control unit. There is a date on the battery which is 10th of the 12th, which indicates that's the same battery the car left the factory with. We've also tested the main battery under the bonnet, which has passed, and the date stamp on that is 2020, so we know that one has been replaced. I'm going to recommend replacing the auxiliary battery and see how she goes on before we get any deeper into it. That's going to be the cheapest option. It's also going to get her stop-start working again. Oh, she's also complained that intermittently the radio just goes off and then randomly comes back on. So hopefully, could be a relatively cheap fix for everything, but that's the first port of call with this problem. Right, that's the B-Class all done. That's the old battery, new battery's fitted. I've been on a road test, no faults for gearbox. Audio stayed on at all times. Could be an intermittent fault, but we'll return this one to the customer and see how she gets on with that. Right, we've got a 213 E-Class in for engine management light. Plugged it in, we've got AdBlue faults to the AdBlue pump module. So we've been doing some testing at the module and the wiring from the module up to the AdBlue control unit, which is in the boot. Results have come back. We need an AdBlue concentration sensor, which is part of the AdBlue pump, and we also need an AdBlue pressure sensor. Mercedes are currently doing repair kits for these, so we'll see what's available, see what the customer wants to do, report back. So I've been to Mercedes and picked up all the parts for the pump, I'll call it. It's all the internals. In a lot of cases, you'd just replace the full tank and be done with it. But Mercedes have released an individual parts package, so you can get in there and just replace the bits and pieces you need. We'll get all these fitted and we'll see how we get on with that. Right, we've made a mistake. Well, it's not we, it's me. The AdBlue fault, I thought I was doing the customer a favour replacing the individual pieces, because back in the day you had to put a full tank on it. When I looked at the web parts, which is the Mercedes part system, you could buy the pieces individually, so I thought, oh, I'll try and fix the tank. Put the pieces on, it's not fixed the problem. The problem we've got is the internal circuit board in the tank, which is giving me the idea that the pump and the pressure sensor is faulty, and it isn't. So I've had to ring the customer, give him the bad news. Labour and everything's pretty much the same, but the price of the parts is well more expensive. The tank is £1,500, so he's probably not that happy. He's not going to be my best mate anymore. We don't always get these things right. You know, it's probably backfired me thinking I can fix it and I can't. So back to Mercedes to pick up a tank. I've probably got an upset customer, and then we'll let you know how we get on. Where's our car? As you can see, we've just walked past our little C-Class that's in for warranty. Place your bets now. Are Mercedes got to honour the warranty, or they're going to come up with some excuse that it's our fault, the mirrors failed within 10 months or whatever it's been. Right, we've arrived back at the garage with the tank. £1,500. If you've got communication faults to your pump, replace the tank. Don't try and replace the pump and save the customer money like I did. It's never a nice conversation to have with the customer, but we're all human. A lot of people think mechanics shouldn't be allowed to get the job wrong now and again, but we do. Let's get it fitted, wipe our noses and get on with it. Pump's all fitted, all fault codes have gone stored for the AdBlue pump module, so we can now clear those codes. Fill in of AdBlue tank. We've now got a reading, which is the blue box, which we didn't have before. There's quite a few Geez, a bit close that.
No?
Hey mate, when we had to fit a new one because it had been knocked, so There is a mark on the cover, but that's from the last mirror. It's a 15-year-old car. The lens is good, there's no cracks in the cover, the glass is good, everything. Cheers, bye. So already Mercedes are trying to worm their way out of giving us some warranty work. I'm not saying anything yet, but they're trying to get out of it. I'm not having it. So back to this. You've got to recalibrate the AdBlue fill level sensor. Reset learn value of the pump, because we've fitted a new pump as part of the tank. There is also a bleed procedure to bleed the tank. Procedure completed, so we need to put the cover on now, start it up. Road test, we've now got a fill level on the dashboard. So, it's been a bit of a pain, this job, but lesson learned, it happens. We are all human. Right, another day. First job for me, we've got a GLA 4MATIC. Customer has complained of a judder from the rear end of the car. Now I thought it'd be a good one to show you this, because we're seeing this problem quite a lot and not many people know what it is. Symptoms are you're cruising to a stop at a set of traffic lights, slow speeds, and you can feel something bumping at the back end. Feels a bit like ABS kicking in, but a slower version. Now I don't know if you can hear that. It sounds like you've locked someone in the boot and they're banging to get out. Let me out. Like a bit of a bump from the back. You'd think somebody's like nudged you. Somebody's just touched your bumper with air bumper type of thing. Only on 4MATICs. The rear differential oil needs replacing. There's a valve inside the diff and it pulses away, and basically you've got to flush the fluid out. Once you've changed the oil in the diff to cure this problem, you have to program the car, you have to tell the car that you've replaced the oil. So it's very sensitive. Gone are the days of changing oil, and that's the end of that. Just to change your rear differential oil, you've got to tell the car you've done it. And there's also a bit of a procedure afterwards. You do like full circles, you do figure of eights and stuff to engage that rear actuator in the diff to get it working and get the new oil in there. I'm not touching the accelerator pedal, I'm just cruising, doing 6 miles an hour. I'm hoping that you can hear that. It's like boom, 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 boom. We will get that on the ramp, get the diff fluid change, tell the car it's had that. Mercedes recommend to do this twice to try and save the customer some money. I always do it once and see what it's like. If it cures it, great. And then I say to the customer, look, Mercedes recommend it twice. We've done it once. It stopped doing it. If you're happy with that, we're happy with that. Should it come back, let's do it again. Yeah, we try and do our bit. We try and do our bit for everyone. It's like the longest bolt in the world, this.
For a day.
You can see the condition of the oil. The instructions on what to do with this is very specific. You've got to now rotate the wheels in the same direction, 5 rotations. And there's the solenoid, which is pulsing. A good diagnosis is to unplug that, re-road test the car. If it stops doing it, this is what you need to do. But just from experience, I know that's what you need to do. Because there's no service interval on these rear diffs, what we are doing is we're recommending them to be done when the gearbox is due a service. So when your gearbox is due a service, get the diff done at the same time, and then you'll avoid having this problem. I'm surprised Mercedes haven't put a service schedule on it. On the 45 AMGs, which is a very, very similar setup, they are due every A service, but on the non-AMGs, there's not a service schedule. So before anyone asks, this is only applicable on GLA 4MATICs. Fresh oil's in, oil service confirmation done, we're now going to give the solenoid some actuations. So I'll have 2 people to do this. 1 spin the wheel and 1 activate the solenoid and the diagnostic. So I've got the easy job. So that's the GLA 4MATIC done. So that's 1 oil change done. So we've now got to road test it again, check oil level again. Like I say, Mercedes recommends do it twice. We do it once and see how it is, give the customer the choice. Try and keep the cost down for you guys. So we've got A-Class, old A-Class. We've got water in the boot. Really common problem, I'm going to say, on all the A-Classes. Even the next generation A-Class after this still suffers the same fault. I don't know what Mercedes were thinking. It's that bad of a fault and they've still not fixed it. So water in the boot, this is the problem. Rainwater comes down, goes behind there and into the boot. As a precaution, we always change backlight seals as well, because why not, while we're in there type of thing. So this is pretty much the same fault on all A-Classes, even the completely redesigned A-Class. They're using the same part in the back panel and they're still leaking. Right, we're on an SL 500. Yeah. SL 500, ABC lower ball joints. We have done a video on these before. We'll leave a link in the description. Basically, both lower ABC strut ball joints need replacing. Struts are £1,500 each, plus VAT, plus fitting. So basically, we're saving this customer 3,000, 4,000, a lot of money. We home?
Yeah.
Sweet home Alabama.
Copy right up, mate.
So that's this ball joint all pressed in. We always replace the nut as well, genuine nylon nut. So this is a great saving for SL owners with ABC. Right, a new day. We've got an SLK 55 AMG. Looks a really nice car, this. We've done a service on it. Thought we'd show you what we've found. Front pads are getting low. Rear discs and pads are getting low, which is minor stuff really. Thought we'd show you what's not so great. There's a hole in the floor pan of the car that require welding. Brake pipes in bad condition, they need replacing. Also, there's a bit of cracking in the rear brake hoses, but we would replace them at the same time as doing the brake pipes anyway. One of the support braces for the undercarriage is completely rotted through. We've also noticed that the heat shield has rotted through, so we've got to take the nuts off, one there and one there. It was rattling on the exhaust. We're going to do a little repair while we're in there. We've just noticed that on service, so a bit of a free repair there. It's making a right racket. Right, next job in. SL 55 AMG, A service, MOT. I've got a couple of niggly things to fix. The indicator stalk is quite wobbly. You can see the cruise control stalk. There is a bolt missing that holds that together, which you can't buy separately, which I have bought one out of a C-Class, I think. So I'm hoping the bolt's the same. See if we can do a cheap little fix there, because I don't want to buy a full stalk for a bolt. That's just crazy, but that's how it is. So hopefully the bolt I've got is correct. What else have I got? Driver's mirror has started fading a bit. An auto dimming glass is about 400 quid. The customer doesn't want one of those, so I'm going to show you how to convert your auto dimming glass to a plain heated mirror. Oh, we're changing the supercharger oil. We're doing a service and changing the supercharger oil. This is actually a facelift SL55 AMG. Very strangely, this car does not have parking sensors. Imagine buying £70,000 supercar and it's not got parking sensors. Anyway, this facelift model's got, I always say suede, it's got a suede headlining, but it's not, it's Alcantara or whatever you want to call it. Look at this is a massive shame. Look at that, where the sun's got to that. So this car's got keyless entry and keyless start and no parking sensors. Right, the service is done on the SL. Not much to report really. It could do with the rear prop shaft coupling. We're just doing the supercharger oil. You can see the colour of that. This isn't something that has a schedule. It's not on the Mercedes schedule. Customers asked for it to be done. It's actually my first time doing it, so be interesting. Right, so just refilling the supercharger. It holds 150 mil. You can't get all of it out. I think we got about 130, 140 out. So refilling it, and you can see the difference in colour with the colour of it in the syringe. I'll leave a link in the description below to one of my online mates from over the pond, the AMG Meister. He's done a tutorial on how to do this. It's really well explained, so it's not really worth me going in massive detail. I'll leave that to him. I also used his guide myself to do this, and it worked perfectly, so I'll leave a link for that below. Right, so as I explained before, indicator, cruise control, steering column adjustment switches are all loose, and that's because this bolt I've just dropped on the floor. This bolt's missing. You can't buy that bolt for an SL, which I think's crazy. It comes with the switch, so it's either a £250 switch, or I've took a bit of a gamble. On a C-Class, 203 C-Class, you can buy a column rebuild kit. I think it's about 20 quid, I'd have to make sure. And it comes with all sorts of bits and bobs and bolts, and it comes with the bolt I need. So hopefully, cheap fix for the customer, good 250 quid saving. Hopefully it's the same bolt. I can bolt that in, job done. So we've just put the screw in. We had to give it a bit of persuasion to force it through, so we've got a little rubber mallet, tapped it in, and yes, the screw was correct, nice and tight, and now no movement, nice and tight. While you're in jobs, savings, we like saving customers money. It's a good feeling to know that they're getting looked after. And my microphone's down here, it's not even clipped on. Another job which we explained before, customers not happy with the auto dimming glass. It's gone quite dark, so at night she can't see. So we're going to show you how to convert it to a normal heated glass. They're about 350, 400 quid. We'll double check. So it's made up of 2 layers of glass with an oil filled charge in the middle. So basically we're going to take the surround off, take the outer glass off, clean the oil off, and then refit it back to the car. So we're going to take the outer casing off. That's what holds the 2 pieces of glass together. And then you can see the wire, so we've got to cut that off, and then we can separate the two pieces of glass. You can do this with it fitted to the car, but I've removed it to make it an easier demonstration. This is where you crack the glass. So we've took the outer glass off, so that's all the oil. So we've now got to clean that off. Toolbox Cleaning Company products, as always. Visit their website. Discount code SPR 15. And that's not a paid promotion, we actually use their products. We pay for them. In fact, we use our own discount code. It's not quite clean, but another couple of buffs. Obviously, we've removed the anti-dazzle side, which is a really good system, by the way. I do like it. I am that idiot that would buy a new glass for 300-400 quid or whatever it is. But this is a great way to just save a few pennies. There we go. Are we in?
Yeah.
Right, we're at the end of the week. Our warranty claim with Mercedes on this C-Class went terrible. At first they declined, they said no. Then we had a massive argument for 2 days and eventually they agreed. They declined because there was a mark on the cover. You can just about see there. But and they said because there's a mark on the cover, it must have been hit and damaged. Well, the reason there's a mark on the cover is because it was hit and damaged. That's why we replaced it. And you can see on the invoice that we gave them that we only replaced the mirror frame. We didn't replace the cover and we didn't replace the lens. And it's a 16-year-old car, it's got to have marks on it. So anyway, a lot of battling and we got it approved. However, they haven't got one, it's no longer available. So we're now scouring the country for a mirror from a Mercedes dealership. Apparently they've found one though. That's the good news. The bad news is, as part of the warranty claim, they do a free vehicle health check. During the health check, they found a leaking brake pipe. And when I say leaking, it's not dripping on the floor, the brake pipe is just slightly damp. It is leaking. So, we then had to ring the customer, give him the bad news. I thought, right, we need to get this resolved quickly. Let's get a price off Mercedes to see how much they would charge to do it, to save me paying for recovery, to bring it back, taking it back again, messing about. Anyway, the price to replace a brake pipe was £2,100. They want to drop the subframe down and drop the fuel tank down. Obviously, customer said no. I've then had the car recovered back to our workshop. We've given a price to do it. We're going to do both the backs brake pipes. One's leaking, the other one is badly corroded. Our price is a third of that, and he's said not to do it. So I think they're going to go to the dealer and try and get something out of it. I don't know. But at the minute, we're in a really sticky situation with that car. It's come in for a warranty mirror. It's turned into a 2-day argument. Now we've got a burst brake pipe. It's just a disaster. SLK, which we spoke about earlier in the video, we have done the brake pipes on it. Rear brake pipes are done. As I explained, a couple of while you're in there jobs. Heat shields were rattling. We've resecured those. We've replaced the strut brace that had rotten through. Once we got that off, we noticed a bit of rusting on the chassis. So we've cleaned that up, give it some stone chip to cover it up. So again, just a couple more wire in there stuff. This is actually having some more works, having some spark plugs and stuff like that. So as you can't even see that strut brace once the under trays are on. This car has had a new subframe at Mercedes. We've explained in a previous video about getting a free subframe at Mercedes should your car need one. This has had one. Customer said, oh, why didn't they spot that? But the reason is it's covered up, you can't see it. Because at first I was like, yeah, why haven't they spotted that? And then I thought, well, actually you can't see it. Really difficult situation with this brake pipe. Customer's not happy, it's burst. I think he feels like Mercedes should do it because it's burst on them. Let us know in the comments what you think about that. It's your car, it's your brake pipes. It's happened to me before and I've had to ring the customer. You know, I've kind of been thankful that it's happened on me and not the customer. We don't actually service that car. We've just done repairs on it, so we've never serviced it and never advised brake pipes or anything like that. But I've checked the MOT history and it has been advised before. Trying to help someone has turned into a disaster, honestly. It's you couldn't make it up. So yeah, that kind of sums up our week really. Like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.